Stop! Stop it!
No, look, I'm trying to
Stop omming!
Let me Would you please let me
Stop it now!
Let me 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 omelette me.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh, thank you very much.
Delicious.
Nom nom nom.
Yummy vegan omelette. Look at this sexy motherfucker.
Right, so you can do this in a blender. If you haven't got a blender, you can whisk it together in a bowl. If you haven't got a bowl, you should probably get a bowl, but you can be all hipster about it and use an old jar like this one. Get it on the scales and add 75 grams of plain flour. Then this stuff is 75 grams of gram flour. It's just ground up chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans. This stuff is what makes the mixture yellow, but it also retains quite a lot of liquid, which helps give the omelette a nice soft texture. And if you're wondering why it's called gram flour, it's because it weighs 500 grams. Get some baking powder in there. This is going to give the mixture some lift and a little bit of fluffiness. Then I'm adding precisely half a teaspoon of salt. If you haven't got one of these things, this is what it looks like in a regular teaspoon. The reason I'm being so precise is because of this stuff, black salt powder. This is what's going to give the eggy flavor. This stuff is awesome, but you got to be careful because if you add too much of this stuff to anything, it'll end up tasting like it came from the devil's bottom. Anyway, that's our mixture there. Simple. Get the lid on and give this a good shake to mix everything. Oh, hang on, I bought one of these protein shaker balls. They're really cheap and they come like this so they can fit through the letterbox. Anyway, drop your ball in and this helps make sure there's no lumps in there. God bless these balls. Then I'm adding some non-dairy milk. I use soya milk because it's generally the most fatty, which helps to bind the ingredients. Turn that over. Come on, flour. Hello. Come on, you stupid flour. Oh, there we go. Give that a good shake. Recycled jar, shaker ball. Have I just inadvertently created the most hipster protein shaker in the world? Just add one of these and perfect. Why did the hipster burn his lip on the vegan omelette? Because he ate it before it was cool. Okay, it's at this point that you're really going to be able to smell that black salt powder. But don't worry, it'll get cooked out later, so try not to freak out. Okay, this is what we're after. It needs to be pretty thin. And that's our basic omelette mix. Give it a try. You can, of course, add some other flavors if you like. Whatever. Hello, Mr. Frying Pan. This is 28 centimeters, which is 11 inches. Oh, Mrs. Frying Pan is a very lucky girl. So for a pan that size, a little bit of a shake, around 100 grams of the mixture is perfect. It's about a quarter of a standard mug. Not much, is it? Pan onto a medium-high heat, a little bit of oil. As soon as you see smoke, take it off. I find the omelettes tend to get a bit stuck in the middle, so I'm just trying to make sure I got some oil there. Little swirl and get that even. Whoops, looks like I overexposed my camera. Back onto the heat, even out the edges, which helps us flip it over later on. Set our timer for 3 minutes. Now at this point, it's very important that you just leave the omelette alone. Leave it alone? But oh man, I just want a little... Don't touch it! Why? Well, two things. Firstly, the hot pan is creating a caramelized layer on the bottom of the omelette, which will make it easier to bring off the pan. Secondly, it needs time to cook and bind. Fiddling with it can weaken it and cause it to break apart. Just let it do its thing for about 3 minutes or until the top is good and dry. Well done. Take him off the heat, and this is where it helps to have a good flexible spatula. It definitely helps to have a non-stick pan, but I certainly had my share of problems along the way. So I've put some tips on the webpage which may help. Okay, yep, very good. Back on the heat, press them down. You might want to lower the heat a little and cook for about 2 or 3 minutes until, yep, that looks good. Let's get him onto a plate there. There it is, omelette. Let's have a look inside. There, can you see that soft center? That's the gram flour. Now, if you're expecting to try this and think, oh wow, it's just like an omelette, you're going to be a bit disappointed. It's more like a slightly egg-flavored, soft, savory, but very tasty pancake. Much better to jazz it up with a few veggies. You could also throw in some grated vegan cheese. Mixy, mix and mix. Ah, I forgot the garlic. Never mind. Hot frying pan, and then try to get this evenly spread out. Don't burn your fingers. On the heat, neat edges help to get the spatula under later on. 3 minutes on that side. Flip it. Oh, looks like it was a tad too hot. Couple more minutes. Looking good. Let's get some vegan soft cheese on there. Bit of spinach, some tomatoes, some cracked pepper. Over she goes. Nice. And there we are. We got a nice little breakfast. Let's give it a try.
That is bloody lovely. That is.
I wonder if I could use wholemeal flour instead of plain flour. Let's give it a try. Yep, that worked out fine. Actually gives it quite a nice texture. Okay, so that worked out, but what if I hate gluten? So, this is brown bread flour, free from gluten. There's the ingredients, if you're interested. Looks like the real deal, doesn't it? So, here's the mixture. It looks okay. Here it is cooking. It seems fine. Yep. Hey, that looks really good. Oh, before I forget, I bought this beautiful piece of artwork. I thought it'd be fun if you guys left some name suggestions in the comments, because I've just been calling it Glass's Basket Cat. Right, let's plate this up. So far, so good. Get all the usual garb on there, and what do we think? I think it looks pretty good. So good, in fact, I ate half of it, even though I've had about 7 of these things today. Well done, gluten-free vegan omelette. You did really well. Hey, I just thought all this stuff has a really long shelf life, right? So why don't I just grab a big jar and make a big batch of this stuff to keep in the cupboard? Probably could have doubled that, couldn't I? Never mind, let's give it a label so I know what it is. Then whenever I want an omelette, I can stick about 40 grams into a baby jar, pop my ball in, add about 100 grams of soy milk, shake it up, pull my ball out and throw in some veggies, and I've got myself an omelette ready to go. Here's the omelette in a sexy looking pan that I'm using purely to make it look good. This is actually my computer desk, which I'd better clean because I got to start editing. Okay, bye. For anyone wondering what happened to the pigeon, it did fly into my room one day. I managed to capture it. I kept it for a few days. The tags on its legs didn't link to any databases, so I couldn't find its owner. I ended up taking it to a wildlife sanctuary where it got all of its vaccinations, and it's got lots of pigeon friends. It's in the middle of a big farmland, so it looks like it's going to be a very happy pigeon. Cool.